my shadows. Good? Wait, are we rolling? Coming up next, Dawn's Delights, where she serves a very special appetizer to a very special guest. I freaking told you to tell me when you're rolling, okay? I mean, that looks... I don't want people to see that, you know?
Hello, good evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of Dawn's Delights. I am so excited because we have a special guest coming for dinner. Her name is Sharon and she actually won a contest to come for dinner and to be on Dawn's Delights. I am so excited. Tonight's dinner is a little special because Sharon happens to have some dietary needs that we want to be sure that we're accommodating to. Sharon is an observant vegan, so that means no animal products of any kind will go into this meal. Now, our first course is going to be a warm winter salad with some wilted kale and roast beets. I've gone ahead and I've wilted the kale simply by steaming it just over our pot here, and it's very simple. Now, we have some beets that are roasting away in the oven. We'll have a peek at that in a second. And now, my favorite part, we are going to toast some walnuts. All I'm doing is chopping them into smaller pieces, and then I take a little splash of oil in our pan on the stove here, and what we'll be doing is we'll actually sprinkle them around, and after a minute or two of just simply shifting and tossing this way, we're going to have some nicely toasted walnuts for the top of our salad. So I've gone ahead and I've roasted some beets. This takes about half an hour, sometimes 45 minutes, depending on how large they are. In the center, you'll see that I have a clove of garlic. That's for another episode where we'll be using it for our shepherd's pie, but I thought I'd roast them all together. Saves energy. These beets are just about perfect. You can tell by sticking a fork or knife in just so that they're tender. Oh, that's perfect. Now, the final little touch of this recipe will be some raisins to top with the walnuts. Now, what I like to do with the raisins previously is I like to rinse them with some hot water because they can get some silt on them and you don't want to be eating that. So I put a number in here, I'll be rinsing them in hot water, and then I'll be blanching them in some balsamic vinegar to get them sweet and tasty and plump. So these raisins are going straight into the heated balsamic, and it's going to coat them and it's going to make them deliciously sticky and nice and plump, which is exactly what we want. So once this comes to the boil once more, we'll take it off the heat and let it sit and cool for a minute so that the sugars can get a little bit more caramelly. Now we're all ready to put together our warm winter salad. Now I'm using deliciously fresh kale, as I mentioned. Our special guest Sharon has some additional dietary preferences. From what I understand, she happens to be of a zombie family, and they prefer things to be very rotten. This is deliciously fresh. For Sharon, or perhaps some of her family members, I might use the more rotten the better, because of course we want to be sure that our guests are taken care of properly. We're going to start with a nice bed of kale, and we're going to top it with some of our roast beets, which I'm using on the mandolin, sliced just like so. Once we've added all of our beets, we're going to add a squirt of lemon, a splash of olive oil, some delicious walnuts, our plump raisins, and we'll have it all ready for our first course. And here we have our warm winter salad. I thought Sharon would particularly enjoy the blood red beets. Now she's waiting for this first course, which I'll be serving shortly, but come back for our next episode where we're showing you how to make our second entree course, a vegan shepherd's pie. It's time for our special guest to enjoy our first course in this vegan dinner party. And I see we have our special guest Sharon here. You brought some flowers.
I did.
How very lovely of you. I'm just going to pop those in water. Gorgeous. Now, I would like to interest you in our first course here, which is a
wilted kale and roast beet salad with plump raisins and toasted walnuts.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
I'm just gonna clean up a little bit of those skin shavings that seem to be coming off you there.
Can we turn down these freaking lights? I mean, I'm sweating here and the makeup girl has just ditched me. I mean, what is that about? Also, can we talk about that absolute freak that has been on that show the whole time tonight?